Hi gardening friends, I'm Lark and I'm in Wisconsin, Zone 5, and I'm going to give you Tea Time Tuesday. I know it's Wednesday, but I forgot yesterday was Tuesday, and when I remembered it was already getting dark and the light wasn't good, so we're having it today. So grab your cup of tea and come join me as I walk. We haven't had rain here for a good couple weeks, so it's dry, and hubby is watering his grass. You hear that tick, 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 tick. Oh, I see the wasps are going in my crane there. See them right on the back? Oh well, I don't go in that area much anyways. PG hydrangea. So pretty. Those are the common 9-barks, and he pruned after bloom so that you can see they're putting on a little new growth. And then my blue carpets, spreading junipers. I told myself, Lark, go slower. I watch my videos and they're so choppy. And sometimes it isn't because of the mosquitoes. It's because they're just choppy. I walk too fast. My mom is overweeding today for me, which is nice. She lives in an independent senior living down the road, only 5 minutes away. And she likes gardening. And she gardens for them there, but she knew I could use some help, so that's what she's doing. She cleaned up this area for me. The corabels were a lot of old growth on it, so she went down to the center in new growth, so they look a little more tidy, and now they'll put on some nice growth, getting some sunlight, and hopefully water one of these days. I do deadhead my marigolds at least once a week. So I just chop and drop, and that way they will keep blooming, and they will get a bit taller too. Okay, let's head for the veggie garden, okay? Let me show you what's going on. Blight has hit my garden, my tomatoes, but that's expected. My arch to the opening of my garden, old gazebo. For you new people who have come to my channel to watch, I like growing up the scarlet runner bean, pretty red flowers that the hummingbirds love, and then the edible bean. The more you pick, just like green beans, the more they put on flowers. But the vine was across the top, but the cardinals have been sitting up there, and the new growth of the bean vine they've been nipping at. Oh well, it's still looking pretty. My succulents. Asparagus patch in there with comfrey in the center. Amaranth. Lots of calendula. I make an oil infusion for my skin. And I also dry some calendula for tea. Right off the top of my head, I don't know what calendula tea is good for, but probably anti-inflammatory, because almost all the tea I drink, I'll pick it because one of the qualities is it is anti-inflammatory. Another little wheelbarrow with my succulents in. And no, those aren't hardy in Wisconsin. They have to come in. Raspberries. This is the second flush. The new growth from spring. The old growth from last fall gave me berries in June. First week in June. around the first week in June, I think. They're doing good. I'll be freezing some. If the grandkids come out, though, they eat them as they pick, and that's okay. Those are fond memories. Blight and tall tomatoes. I'm thinking 8 feet high. Pretty tall. My Juliet cherry tomato. I cut it in half and then I oven dry them. They turn out really good. Some basil, cilantro go into seed and I let it drop, and I cast some where I want it. Kale for later in the season. More blight tomatoes. But those are Brandywine, my favorite. Celebrities is in there, and this is Chadwick cherry. This is a raised bed. I use brick, landscape brick, and I layer it. It's called the lasagna method of gardening. And I layer grass clippings and dried leaves, worm castings, coffee grounds. This here my onions were in. I just pulled them out. I did not have a good year of onions. I had an excellent year for garlic. It was right over there. And then I planted some more kale, Swiss chard, and a little spinach in there. Outstanding cucumbers this year. Just outstanding. But I was saying about the lasagna method. Chicken wire. This is 2-foot chicken wire. And it keeps the bunnies out. And I usually go about 18 inches in mulch of grass clippings and coffee grounds and worm castings and dried leaves, and I alternate that, just like building a lasagna. And that's what gives me my soil fertility. Cheap, like free. Carrots, oh, they are so bone dry. I tried pulling some yesterday and I got them with the help of a shovel, but I watered them so I can get some out today. Even though my soil is pretty good, it does not just pull out. Maybe one day. Deadhead these. Keep blooming. Nasturtiums, oh, they're looking pretty. And I eat them. Yes, I eat them. I eat the barrage too. Little flowers. I don't like the fuzzy leaves. Even the tiny leaves right here have fuzz on them. So we eat just the flowers. Plus they attract the pollinators over here. I had beans on the back of over by the chicken wire there, and I told you a groundhog or a bunny ate. I have chicken wire on this side and they couldn't get in. So what they did is they came over here and stood on these boards, and there was, between these two pieces, a 2-foot chicken wire, there was a gap maybe about 3 inches or so, 4 inches, and they stuck their little teeth in there and they nipped off all the beans all the way across. So they didn't kill them, but they stunted them. So guess what? I'm going to have new beans very soon. So that's a good thing. I'll have some new beans, and my other ones are getting yucky. Cukes. Easy for me to pick. This one here, oh wow. I can't believe how this cucumber is growing. I have the soyo in there, and I also have this Market More. This is my kale from spring yet, eating off of it, eating off the broccoli yet. Peppers are really coming in now. So I hope that we get, continue to have this warm weather, because there's a lot of flowers on these. I have been eating the Italian roasters. They have turned red, and you can see some down in there. They're just loaded. Italian roasters, Carmen, red bell, yellow bell, and green bell. Some more Swiss chard, some lettuce, tatsoi, some mash or corn salad for later in the season. Some parsley, I'm hoping amounts to something soon. Cilantro, more cilantro, and then my spearmint. I use tomato cages, stakes, whatever to hold up my peppers, just so they don't snap. Celery looks like it's doing pretty good. Sage. Holy basil. Just harvested some of it. Dry it for tea. It's an adaptogen and anti-inflammatory, and I don't know the others. For stress, anxiety. So this is a must drink, at least 1 glass a day. What's that bug? What's that bug? Don't look good. He's eating holes in my Malabar spinach. Malabar spinach. I'm letting it grow up the 2-foot fencing. Verbena, Buenos Aires. Attracts a lot of butterflies and bees. Lots of bees. Calendula's in there also. In the middle of the garden. I do have stepping stones, so I do know where I'm stepping, but it's tight in there. New pepper for me. I bought some to eat at our organic store called Cherry Bomb, and they were good, but they weren't hot, but they were called Cherry Bomb. Now, I hope they're not real hot. Not hotter than jalapenos. We'll see. I have some beets left in here. Later harvest. Oregano. That I harvested already. It should give me 1 more, I bet, by October. 1 more harvest. Peppermint. Waiting it to flower. Oh, it's starting to flower. So then I will harvest it and dry it. I use peppermint daily. I use it to flavor my nettle. The blend I use is nettle, dandelion leaf, dandelion root, a little marshmallow, and peppermint for flavor. Peas. Oh, I'm getting flowers. Carol, maybe I'll get a lot of peas like you did. I'm holding them up with saplings, and they're on the south side of my garden, so they really don't shade anything until late afternoon. And then by that time, the peppers need a little shade. Yep, you guys, every video I say fleabane. It is pretty. Jewelweed. Come on, that's just nature there. Those two. Fleabane and jewelweed. Pretty color. This will be an aster real soon. More kale from spring. And the cardinals have been eating, or all the birds I guess, have been eating the worms, but I need to check more often. I personally don't care if the leaves have holes in them. I just chop it up anyways. There's more Swiss chard in there. Dill. And I have new plantings of dill in there. I'm hoping that I get a chance to put up some fermented pickles. So I can be harvesting pickles and dill for a month yet. Now with my cucumbers, when the vine started going up about 6 inches, I planted some new seeds. So there's some newer bushes coming up in there. Just to give me a few cucumbers for eating. I just wanted a few because now the old vines are starting to look a little yucky. My new area, I keep talking about every week. I'm working on this. A garden in the works. So you who have said, Lark, I'm getting a new garden and I have to have patience and can't wait till it looks pretty. Here's my new area. Patience. And there's plants in there, the branch coneflower. up near that tree trunk. I'm hoping that it comes and they look yucky, but I keep watering them. What I want is the root to survive and stay healthy, and it might put on a little new growth yet, but mostly the root, so it comes back next year. Now, branch coneflower is aggressive, very aggressive. All these plants are aggressive here, so I let them go to seed, just like the feverfew. That's feverfew, the brown flowers, and that's feverfew looking pretty, the white. And I want a lot of it in here, so I spread the seed. But once I spread seed, that tiny seed, I cannot keep mulching over it, because that seed needs light to germinate. And then more scarlet runner bean. Now, if I put scarlet runner bean on this arch every year, I'm going to have to amend that soil and put in a lot of worm castings and some compost, because I can't rotate. We just like the scarlet runner bean on there. It looks pretty. Yep. This is native, and the bees love natives. It's great blue lobelia. Guess what? Aggressive. The idea of this garden over here is to hide the yucky wood pile. Okay? So that's what we're doing with this new garden. Pretty confident it'll do that. And I like showing you it in the process of having a new garden and not looking so good. Remember, the main reason I like my garden is I view it from the house all the time. And walking the garden, I do twice a day or so. And I can see my chop and drop. But from the house, I can't. And I like that. I like to be able to view color all the time. Now this perilla, you can see, we need rain. It's cool today. Beautiful Wisconsin day. Like 70 degrees. A breeze. Dappled sunshine. Gorgeous. I'll have my mom say hi to you. She will be 88 very soon. She's my inspiration. She's the one who got me into yoga, eating well, exercising, gardening, art. I am my mother's daughter. And proud of it. Good lady. Oh, even the anemone is weeping. Pretty buds on anemone. I don't know if I'm going... It's very hard, as you all know, to see the screen with the sun out. Now back there in the white is phlox, and it's starting to rebloom. And it's only reblooming because I deadheaded it before the 4th of July. After it was done flowering or near done, I cut it back. And I wanted white later because the balloon flower is white there also, but it's done. So now I need that white again. Joe Pye, if you want a tall plant, that is gorgeous. Now in the front here, I have let lobelia come up. It'll reseed and go everywhere. But come fall, I'll be pulling it out. See the grass edge right here? Because I know it'll drop seed for next year, so I don't want it choking out everything. So I will be pulling out very aggressively the great blue lobelia and the phlox too. I'm not seeing what time I have on here. 20 minutes I'm in. What's new this week? Oh, I'm running out of new. The asters are going to start blooming, but right now the blue, gorgeous, gorgeous blue with dabs of white and pink and gold. Don't you love those sounds? Mom, I told him I'm going to have you be on video.
Oh. Now, do you want me to pull any of this out that's close to here, or shall I just leave it?
You can just leave it.
And you've got your, that orange.
You remember it? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Hawkweed.
Hawkweed, yes.
She's talking about.
Here. Do you want me to leave that here?
No, you can take that out.
Oh, okay.
This is what she's talking about, hawkweed. And it's on the edge, right on the black edging here.
Yes.
So it's aggressive, and it's coming up all in the dragon's blood sedum.
Okay.
So we'll have some for next year. So just, you know.
Okay, just take it out.
Yeah, just take it out.
Okay, we'll do.
Say hi.
Hi.
I'm lucky to have her doing this.
Great day.
I just told him that. I said, what, about 70? Yeah. And sunshine and wind. And wind is good, keeps the mosquitoes away.
Unless you get inside the garden too much.
Yeah.
They were there.
We won't talk about the inside. There's lots of weeds in there. The autumn joy sedum is starting to make its flower head. A staple in gardens. If you want hardy gardens. The goldenrod is even pretty in the garden. You just have to be aggressive in pulling it out. So back in that area is goldenrod. It's going to be pretty gold very soon, along with, yep, my fleabane and phlox. Lots of color. Joe Pye's peeking out back there. The smoke bush. All very hardy. Oh. The hummingbird is on the honeysuckle. So pretty. Now the verbena Buenos Aires doesn't come up a lot in the garden, and I threw seed in the garden, but there isn't enough light, and when it drops its seed it needs light to germinate, so consequently it comes up on the edge here. Okay, well, here's one new thing this week. Sweet autumn clematis. It is going to be pretty. Always is. That's a small arch there. Very small. But I love the white. And I also have it under this Austrian. Climbing up this Austrian. So there'll be some white back here. And that's the branch coneflower. This is the branch coneflower. The aggressive one. So, asters haven't started yet, so that'll be something new in a couple weeks. I tell you every week I'm really happy for this perilla. Easy to pull, especially in spring, but if I didn't want it now, I can pull it easy. Garlic chives, just starting. Can you see that? Pretty white against the burgundy, and we can see this from the house. Now I'll show you my containers. Less and less containers. Too much maintenance. Next year, no sweet potato vine. It will be a Swedish ivy or something very drought tolerant. I don't think I'm going to see morning glories on here this year. Really late to get started. but just the green is acceptable. So there's my arch with the sweet autumn. It will be pretty, and I'll start one of my videos coming the other way. It's going to be gorgeous. So thanks for viewing my garden and coming along and walking with me. I appreciate it. Such a pretty day. Take care, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Better late than never. Bye-bye.